I love the energy of these trees.
Yeah. Weird thing, though. Never recognized this as the same place. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I've been in this exact spot, I never recognize it as this spot.
Well, in a way, it is kind of a brand new space.
What do you mean?
Like, uh, sorry, I'm just trying to like get these ideas into words. Okay, so a space is made up of all the little pieces that are a part of it, right? Like the walls or the lack of walls or the physical bodies there, like a desk or a tree or a doggo or the sights, the smells, ideas even. Yet
Okay.
at any given time, these individual elements will be different because time changes everything, yeah? Like when you go home to your hometown
Yeah.
and everything is just like a little bit
Slightly
different.
different,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So because we never occupy the same time more than once, even if we're in the same physical space, it's always going to be slightly different, and that way it's always kind of brand new.
I think I get what you're saying. Like, space isn't just something you inhabit. It's living, and you're creating it by inhabiting it. So, like, your presence within it shapes the space that it becomes.
Exactly. You have the power to change it. Every space retains a little bit of the energy of the bodies that move through it.
Interesting. That reminds me of this idea about events my partner shared with me a while ago. That every event or action is kind of like a bell curve. It's at its peak of intensity in the moment that it's occurring, but it also exists both before and after that, building up to the peak and falling from it. So the energy of an event, even if it's just a body in space, remains there, slowly decaying long after that event is ended.
I really like that idea. It reminds me of this notion of consciousness, that our consciousness is strongest in ourselves, but it's also present but weaker in the bodies close to us. And their consciousnesses are also a part of ours. So instead of billions of individual consciousnesses, there's just a web of one consciousness that's ever changing.
That's exactly
And that
the
can
space
interrupt
in
my-
time thing, you know? Like when you think about a conversation framed as like passing a smokable, then like the space we're taking up is also exactly the time that we're using it, you know?
Yeah, because we're equally sharing the joint and how much is in it. And we're also equally sharing the conversation and how much is in that.
But then people breathe differently, so like different joints.
Well, that's the hard thing about tolerance, you know?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's your personal like prerogative.
Like
to
your
like
3 hits off the
own
joint might
your
be
own
one person's
subjectivity, so that we can come together in a place where like we all come from 3 totally different places, but like we meet in the middle because we know ourselves enough, you know,
Yeah. But I
to
mean,
like know where we're going.
the tolerance even goes out the other way. Tolerance is
trying to walk inside, but he asked me this super fucking existential question about life after death. And I'm just like, dude, I just had work for the past 10 hours. All I want to do is go inside and pass out. But I still feel like I have to humor him for some stupid reason. So I think for a second and then start responding thoughtfully, and then on a moment to my response, he interrupts me and asks me this stupid fucking question about whether or not plants have a conscience. Not a consciousness, but a conscience.
Like Jiminy Cricket or some shit. So just say no and walk inside. So, and of course, when I go inside, his door's wide open with music blaring full volume. So you can just hear it while he's outside smoking.
It's crazy how he can just make spaces his,
Yeah. Like, he forcibly fills up any empty space in the house with his presence.
Yeah, dude. Like, he has no awareness of any sense of shared space, as if he thinks it all belongs to him. It's like he's not actually having a conversation with you. He's just trying to prompt you into a certain idea, like he wants to control your train of thought.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty interesting. Like, where does that come from? Like, how do you develop the idea that conversation was supposed to work that way?
I don't know, dude, but it's so fucking frustrating. Like, whenever he walks into a room, he sees it becoming his room rather than just adding another presence to it.
Yeah, dude, I think it comes from privilege, honestly. Like, he just has this misconception of his own significance.
Yeah, I can see that in the way he, summons people.
Or he sort of taking over the living room as his. Like, it's just made home into such an uncomfortable and unpleasant space.
I definitely agree, but honestly, talking about this with you right now and walking through the woods is really wonderful. I haven't felt this free and unburdened in a long time. It makes me feel so far from that energy in that space and warm and comfortable in this one.
I agree, dude. It's so interesting how we've ended up in such a warm space together, despite talking about such an uncomfortable subject.
Yeah, I guess it's not the subject, but it's the space.
Yeah, well, it's probably because we both agree on